having a child is a blessing, no matter how it comes or when it comes. However, in a society like Africa, where we are in right now, there's always a caveat on when you have a child. Timing is key. When I mean timing, I mean go to school, find a man, get married, and then have kids. But not everybody's going to have the Cinderella story. But everywhere we find ourselves, however way, we're still going to find our own happiness. Welcome to this episode of the Millennial Mom Show, and I'm your host, Tolu, and today we're going to be discussing moving ahead after having a teenage pregnancy. And we have on our show today a guest that has been through this and has come out victorious and amazing. Stay tuned and we'll be right back. Welcome back. Like I said earlier, today on the show, we're going to be discussing moving on after having a teenage pregnancy. On the show today, we have our lovely guest, Sophie. Hello, Sophie.
Hi, Toby.
How are you doing, Sophie?
I'm very well, thank you.
Okay, can you please do a quick introduction of yourself to our TMMS women out there?
My name is Sophie.
Okay. Okay.
I'm a single mom.
Okay.
My daughter is almost 10.
Okay. Okay.
That's
So I'm
it.
going to dive right into it
Okay.
because that's the topic we're talking about, which is basically having a kid during your teenage years. And so the first question, how did you find out that you were pregnant? It's funny, right? But yes, how did you find
It
out?
was a very scary moment for me.
No, it's funny, right? Okay.
It was very scary for me because I was in school. I was in a private university. I was just 19 and the school found out before I did.
What?
I
How does that happen?
was taken to the health center and so I was sick.
Oh, you were sick?
But I didn't get the usual
Regular
sickness,
symptoms.
Yeah. So that's how they found out, and
well.
that's it.
Okay. You're like, that's it. But I'm sure that moment, did the school tell you?
Yes, I
They
was
called
just
you.
there on the bed when the doctor did the examination and showed me the scan, just right there on the bed, and it's like, "You're pregnant." I was like, "Okay."
So what level were you in school then?
I was in 300 level.
Wow.
I was in 300 level. That was my first semester, 300 level. I just resumed that semester.
So I know that was that moment that you found out. Let me now say like feels like a day after. What was it like? Were you still like a trance or were you still thinking, okay, is this me? Did this happen to me?
I woke up thinking it's going to be. I was like, if I sleep, it will just be a dream. I wake up the next day and everything will be all right. And boom,
It
I
wasn't
woke up.
the
It
next
wasn't.
day.
I'm like, I was called to the dean's office.
Okay.
Because a private school, so
Certain procedures.
yes, so they needed me to come tell my own side and
Your side.
yes, why
You got pregnant.
why I got pregnant or how I got pregnant, and so they called my mom.
That's the next question I was going to like. Who told your parents? The
They
school.
they told my parents because they asked me to decide who to call. So
Did you want to call? No.
I didn't want to call. It was very scary. The person I
Yeah.
didn't want to call was my dad because my dad was in Lagos with me. So I didn't want to call my dad. My mom is in Abuja.
Okay.
So that was the person I had to call because I know that she will be the one to soften the whole...
Just buffer it a bit for your
so,
dad.
Yeah, so they called my mom.
Okay.
Then I told my mom. Then she told my dad.
Okay.
Then my dad came to school.
To carry you away.
No, I literally had to beg them to let me be till the school was out of session
Okay.
before I go home because looking at my dad alone.
He was like,
I
I'm not
don't-
following these people.
No.
And I know that feeling. Like you're just like,
I can't.
I'm not
no,
following these people.
No, I can't do this. I'm
already-
like,
yeah, I know I've messed up. No, I'm not going with you. You people can't go.
I literally told the dean, if you don't want me dead, just don't send me home right now. Just wait till school is done because my younger brother was in the same school as well.
Okay.
So at least there will be somebody at home to talk to because I
Okay.
know my dad's going to give me the silent treatment. So no.
Okay, I'm not gonna. It's really funny now. Like we can have this conversation and
course.
laugh about it, and
Of
I'm
course.
really happy that we're in this place. Like we can laugh about it, but
Yeah.
I'm sure that moment was really scary, confusing, and all manner of, feelings just
Yeah.
passing through your mind. But my question now is that, what was your mom's support like?
She
Because
was
obvious, I'm not going to ask about your dad. You're giving me snippets. I know they usually change after a while, but the moment when you're
yeah.
pregnant, I don't want it. How was your mom's support like?
It was
And your siblings?
she was amazing. My mom, my brothers, because I have two brothers. They were everything. Like I had to go with my mom to Abuja to stay for the period of my pregnancy. My mom was my rock because every day I wake up crying. And I miss school. I want to go back to school. My friends, my friends didn't really care. They didn't call. I didn't have anybody to really talk to.
Because that's the part of the support that I'm actually meant to talk about, like your friends.
I had just one friend that went through similar situation, but she wasn't in Abuja with me. She was in Ogun State.
Okay.
So there was no way for her to come. Then she had to now travel out of the country. So she relocated with her child, and that's it. But
so it was a case of Sophie got pregnant and she's not our friend anymore. Or Sophie got pregnant, how dare you? Sophie got pregnant, unheard of. From your friends, what was the...
Sophie got pregnant, I don't want to deal with this. I can't be a part of this.
Do you think it was because of school?
I think so. I think so. I think with the environment and too much gossip, the talk and everything, so...
Okay, and then been through on the level. I know it looks old, but they're still young. I don't really agree, but no, I feel like there's a stage you get to. You get a better understanding of life or see life from a different perspective. But when you're still in school, people giving you money and you're just I think it's a different vibe entirely. So, I really understand that. And the person you said you used to talk to, was she your close friend? Because they were friends then.
She was my very close friend. But no, not really. When people move out of the country,
they move on.
So it took like a few years, then she stopped being as close as we used to be.
Or maybe life just happened.
Maybe.
True. Okay, because for I understand the reaction you get from a private university because there's I don't want to say it, like level of discipline or things they just expect, like you're not meant to have sex. You're not meant to. So I understand their points because rules are rules and they lay down these rules and you are meant to actually just follow them. My question is going to go to your partner.
Okay.
Did you get support from your partner or was it a solo ride for you?
It's been a solo ride for me past 9 years plus.
From that moment?
From that moment when I told him, because he wasn't in the same school.
Okay.
So I had to call to tell him and he just said,
I don't want to be part of it.
Don't ever call my number again. I was like, okay. Wow.
Sis, you're joking.
So I thought, okay, maybe it's the shock. I'll give him time. And I'm like, I'm going through this as well.
Alone?
I'm alone in this school going through this. I'm scared out of my mind. And I gave him time. I called. By the time I called, the number wasn't going through anymore. And so I figured out, okay, maybe he had traveled. Then I saw social media, that's Facebook, that he had traveled out of the country.
Really?
Yeah.
And that was it. Did you just accept it from that moment? Like, okay, this is my solo move.
Well, I guess so. Plus, a year down the line, after my child was born, my parents tried to contact him and his family. Yeah. We were getting roadblocks. So it's just like as if we're trying to beg them for money. So I just like, you know what? I don't want to keep doing this. If you want to do this, that's your problem. But for me, I'm not going to go through this ride. I'm just going to go alone and do this and face my child. And if he decides to come down, years down the line, I will wait till she's old enough to contact him by herself. But if he allows me to do this from now on, that's the end. Till she's old enough. So,
okay, I'm going to backtrack a little bit. And I'm going to go back to daddy. So I noticed that for parents, the initial shock, especially when, there's a level of, African parents. Oh, this is what I expect of you. And this is what I think you should do. And this is how I want the pattern to go. School, find a man, do this, do that, marriage, and then get pregnant. So, but when the child comes, like I said earlier, a child is always a blessing.
Yeah.
And they just come, you just see that beautiful, cute little, and you're like, oh, and then you just. What was his reaction after your child came?
They're besties. They're best friends.
You see what I said? I said it.
They're best friends.
I said it.
So, after the whole thing happened, when he came to Abuja and he saw the child, and that was just
His
it.
heart
Like,
just melted.
now they're best friends. They're he says that she's his mother's incarnate because his mom died few months before I took him. So yeah, so they're very close. They call themselves best friends, and I'm just left.
Oh, see, they are taking your space. I know this happens often. It happens all the time. I don't know. Maybe God always just uses it as well as a form of like, I'll bless you with something, and they're just like, oh, this just came. This is amazing. So that's why I asked, because I've seen it happen a lot of times, and they just become, besties, and they are hooked. And so, how do you feel about that? Do you feel sidelined? You still want some sort of daddy attention?
Sometimes
and they're like, oh, we now have it. Okay, that's good. That's very. It helps. It also makes you feel, it's not so bad after all, because it's never so bad. I know the initial time is always quite hard, but
very hard.
Yeah. I know. That's why you're sitting on my seat today. It's very hard, because I know there are like a lot of people out there, not probably moms right now watching this. Pregnant currently. This is Sophie. Can you see how stunning? Can you see how stunning she looks? She came out like she came out. But yes, the other questions that I want to ask you, but I'm gonna just take a quick break, and after the break, we're gonna come back to see our Sophie in our seats, and then we'll see you shortly. Welcome back to the Millennial Mum Show, and we still have Sophie on our hot seat. Okay, Sophie, now I'm going to go into you and your child, your relationship with her, and sex. Your child is going to be how old?
She'll be 10 in 5 months. So.
Are you paranoid? Are you a helicopter mom? Are you paranoid?
No, not really. I'm not. I let her fly. I let her do her thing, and she comes back to me to tell me things.
So you're a cool mom?
Yes, I'm a cool mom.
Good.
Well, I try to be.
I like cool moms. Okay. What's your take on sex education?
I think it's very important that we do introduce our children to these things from a very, very tender age. Not super tender, but at least.
What's your definition of tender?
From
what age did you start?
Well,
I started quite early. I started like 2.
I think I started about 4, 5, because she was very, very inquisitive. So she'd come and ask you about stuff, and you just have to like, where did you hear that from?
Because sex education, because it's funny how I'm more paranoid even about my boy child, and I'm like, oh, if anybody touches you, you tell me. I tell him the names of everything, so you just there's no hiding.
Yeah, I do that actually, because I think I did that from 4.
Okay.
So because she started school very early.
Oh, okay.
I think around when she was 2.
Okay.
Yeah, so I started telling her about these things because you don't want nobody to start touching you. So.
Okay. I know it sounds weird that I'm going to ask you this question, but you said when you and I talked, and we've talked about staying at home, being caged, and everything. Did you get enough sex education? Because that's where I'm actually going to. Did you get a lot of sex education?
Yes, I did.
Talked about condoms and everything.
No.
That's no sex education I'm talking about. Because when we're growing up, we're not going to tell our kids at 7 now about condoms. But there's a particular age you get to, and it gets to that talk. Yeah. The sex talk, the condom, the protection, the contraceptive. Did you get that talk?
No, not at all. What I got was the usual
Don't do it.
Scare of don't have boyfriends. If you have a boyfriend, you get pregnant. Or
How?
if you talk to a boy, you get pregnant. Or if a boy touches you, you get pregnant.
But nobody ever tells you.
Nobody ever tells me. And plus, my parents were kind of strict, so there was no way you can go and ask, what's this?
What's a condom? Like, okay. Do you think it would have helped?
I think so. I think if parents had loosened up, if my parents had loosened up a bit, maybe it would have helped. because when I was growing up, I'd always wanted to have a relationship with my parents where I could just go to them and tell them any and everything. So I think that would have helped if I had that kind of relationship with my parents.
Okay. Now, I think there's always a difference after when you become a mom, your parents tend to see you differently.
Yeah.
And that's the truth. After you had the child, did you get a chance to actually have this type of conversation with your mom?
Not really, because
you feel like the deed's been done.
The deed has been done, so what's there to talk about? But plus, I literally had to tell her that we never had the relationship. So maybe because I tried having a relationship with my dad. My parents were very strict, and my dad was in the force, so it was barely around. Nobody like that. So maybe if I had an older sibling, maybe.
Oh, you're the first child?
Yes, I'm the first and only girl. So
also responsibility sits on you. Okay, because for me, I know it doesn't necessarily mean certain things are not going to happen, but also knowledge. When you're equipped with knowledge, it really helps you to make certain decisions. It also makes you, I don't know, you're powerful.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing else that could stop someone being pregnant other than having certain knowledge about a vast knowledge about sex education. It can happen even with your knowledge, but I feel like that it helps. So for you, what are you going to do for your daughter? Do you think that by the time before she goes to uni, are you going to feel that sex void? Would you have that conversation to the part where we're talking about condoms, boys? It's not the case of don't let a boy touch you anymore, because that's what we got.
Yeah.
And I don't think it helped.
No.
And that's one of the things I feel like
with this generation.
With this generation,
no,
we have access to the internet, and the internet is broad. So moms, what are we doing? What are you doing, Sophie?
It's just good, like what I've been doing. Keep having a very close relationship with her, where she can tell me any and everything. Just have that avenue, like, you know what, you can do stuff, but you need to tell me what's going on so I can help you process it before the deed's been done. So I think that's, for me, that's going to work for me and for the kind of child that I have.
You know how already. Okay.
Yeah, so
know your child, and it just helps. It
makes she's very inquisitive. Yeah. So if you don't answer questions properly,
she will go and find out.
She will definitely find out on her own, and she has access to the internet. So
okay, if you had a time machine, look, I know your daughter is a blessing, and when you're looking at her right now, you're like, hell no, I don't want to rewind anything. Like, this is perfect. Yeah. If you had a time machine, would you do it differently? Forget all the things that happen, though. Because if you look at all the things that happen, it's like, yes, I would.
Yeah, well, with the things that happen, of course. But aside that, no, I won't have it any other way.
Even the initial African parent disappointment.
And that's what I'm saying now. Like,
that one.
Aside that one,
you wouldn't trade it.
I won't trade it now. Aside that, because she's a blessing. She's like a sister I never had. Oh. Sometimes she can be an older sister to me. She gives me advice.
Like, don't do it like that.
About men, about boys.
And you're like,
what do you know?
What do you know, girl? That's my line.
So I won't have it any other way. Yeah.
Okay. I totally agree with you, because I always say it. I know the avenue that the child, how the child comes or when the child comes might be. I call it uncomfortable, but when it comes, it's just like this is it. This is what God gave me to, and and this is it. I'm going to take it, and I'm going to take it with my full chest. So this is a funny question. Do you feel like once your child turns 18, do you think you will hover around her?
No.
You don't have fears?
I have fears, but I don't think hovering would do anything.
Okay.
Just give them the avenue to say, okay, you know what? I'm here if you need me.
Okay.
If you need to talk about anything, I am here.
Okay.
Because when you keep hovering, they will still that thing that you're
You-
doing, they will do it. So just let her breathe. That's it. Let her breathe. Let her make decisions. Be able to make decisions for herself. That's it.
So, since we're discussing men, what's the dating scene for like you? What's it like for you?
Well,
Besides the advice that you get to, what's it like?
well, it's been really funny.
Yeah. Did you experience? Do you feel like your experience shaped the way you see things now?
Not really.
See men?
Not really. I think that men are different. All men can be the same. Human beings are different, so you can't judge people based on other people's what's it called, mistakes. So, yeah,
that's a good way to look at it. Because for some people, it's something y'all are the same. Don't come near me. You people.
Well, sometimes you just think, oh, men has come, but
no, thank you. Men are scum. There's some nice ones, but
of course, yeah.
okay. I I can see that. I like where your mind is. I like where your mind is, and it's really good because I feel like there's really no way to move forward if you don't leave certain things, behind you.
Yeah.
Learn from it, move on, and just, think of how to do better.
Yeah.
So, you didn't really give me the nitty-gritty on this. You're a shy person. You are.
Very shy.
You see, I didn't even ask you. I told you that you're a shy person. You're like, yes, very shy. You didn't give me the gist. Are you dating?
No, I'm not. I'm single, very single.
With all this, look at you. You don't even look like you have a 10-year-old. Stony. Even your eyes and everything. They're just. So you're not dating.
No.
And you're telling me that men have no shape. Are you sure? Okay.
Maybe they're very blind though. So.
Okay. Okay. This is going to. I'm going to leave you alone with your dating. Don't let it look like I'm calling attention to you. But for the last bit of it, what do you think about how society perceive teenage pregnancy?
I think they just think you're just automatically going to be a loser. Like, there's no hope for you.
True.
Because that was one fear my dad had. Like, I wasn't going to get married. I wasn't going to get married. No man is going to want me since I have a child.
Okay.
Plus, I wasn't going to do a white wedding. Like, it was like, people, it thinks white wearing a white dress is for only virgins.
Everyone's wearing a white dress these days. Don't even get it twisted, Harry.
So yeah. So I just think that if they come down with this holier than thou attitude, because most of them, they're even the worst. Because I say there's this statement I make or something I like. Now who they catch be thief. So because those people that are being judgmental, they're doing worse than
people
these other people. So it's because they haven't gotten to that point or that hasn't happened to them. That's why they're in that place. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Sophie. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we're going to be dishing out more stuff about Sophie. Thank you, and we'll be right back. Welcome back. Still in the studio with me is Sophie, and we are still talking about teenage pregnancy and moving on and being like Sophie. Like being like Sophie. Okay, Sophie, I'm going to talk about the money bit, which is very important as a single mom. Because I'm sure a lot of people are watching us right now, pregnant, being a teenager, not having support, and they're thinking, how am I going to do this? Like, see responsibility.
Yeah.
What was it like for you?
My parents they have been a very huge support system for me. They've provided at every turn. So I've really not had any need to look out or look for money or anything. So my
Guys,
parents have
ain't
been.
she lucky? Ain't she lucky? Because I'm here just thinking.
My family has been great. They've
Okay.
been really supportive. So yeah.
Okay.
So that's.
I'm going to flip the script. What if you didn't get support from your parents at that time? What would you have done?
Work.
Work.
Look for work. I think at that point I wanted to model. So after I had a child, when I had to start school afresh.
Okay.
So went to
you went back to 100 level?
Yes.
Oh,
Because
wow.
I was expelled from school for being pregnant.
Okay.
So I had to leave Nigeria, went to Ghana, started afresh from 100 level. So I looked for work, even regardless of the fact that I had parents doing stuff for me.
To take a bit of responsibility.
Yes, I wanted to make sure that, okay, when I'm coming back home after school, I'm bringing a lot of stuff. I'm doing my own parts as best as I could. So, yeah. I looked for work, even modeling. I did a bit of modeling here and there.
I'm not surprised. I am not surprised at all.
So, yeah, I definitely have to look for work. If I didn't have that support, look for work, try my hands on different things to make things work. Because you would need money. Buying diaper.
Tell me about it.
Buying baby stuff is not.
Yeah.
It's not a joke because they're always very needy. There are things they feed. The milk. Everything is just very expensive. So everything requires money. So you need to work. So I would have looked for work.
Okay, because that's the money bit where you have to, it's constant, it's not going anywhere. The child is growing, money spending is growing. Yeah. Career, I don't know what you do. Are you an entrepreneur? Are you a career person? How was that for you? Because once you have a child, the way you would have done it, is the way you are going to do it now is different. Mm-hmm. Like, what's it like for you with your career path, the career that you've chosen? How is it like managing your career as a single mom?
Because I've always had, I didn't really have work after school.
Okay.
Because it took me a while to get a job. Mm-hmm. So after getting a job, everything I'm thinking about is school fees.
So before you talk about school fees, do you think being a single mom, did it affect your looking for a job or getting a job?
No.
Okay.
It did not. Maybe
you didn't think about, this place is too far, I want to be closer to my child?
No.
Correct?
No, it didn't. No, it didn't at all. Because then when I left school, she was already far grown. So
okay, because I'm asking these questions because these are the fears that women have.
Yeah.
I am going to have a child and I am going to need to look for a job. And where am I going to leave this child? How am I going to do it? And I really just want to put it out there that
for those people who probably are looking for ways to what's it called? Ways to help out. Mm-hmm. Maybe if they have a supportive family, at least someone to watch over the child when they go out to look for a job or when they go to work. That's very, very paramount. If you have a supportive family, you don't know what God has done for you. No, because a lot of people are having it really difficult out there, trying to balance work and having to look after another human being. Mm-hmm. So I don't know how I would have done without my family. I really don't know. Family
is very important. And for me, I'm okay. I'm gonna leave you to explain your career path because that's what you were talking about working and paying school fees. Because for me, I think about it as I know paying school fees is key because school fees is expensive. But for me, it's like, did you have a career that you loved, you liked, you wanted to pursue prior to having a child that you continued to pursue?
What I wanted was modeling.
Good.
But after the roadblocks I got, a lot of roadblocks because of how some agents behave.
Did you have a child and just look at yourself and you're like, My body's gone.
That's the refund.
For another day. Okay, okay. The agent, I will let you continue. I'm gonna ask you that question again.
Yeah, so I had to put that aside because thinking of all that, I'm like, you need something that is sustainable because modeling is not really sustainable. If you don't have it really hot, like
Hot.
hot, you can't cater for anybody. Talk more of yourself.
True.
So then I decided to go into fashion.
Okay.
I did a course on fashion and footwear as well. You know how
Okay.
to make footwear
Okay.
and all that. But I still needed
That
something,
money.
yeah, something to bring in the bulk money every month. Know that okay, I have somewhere that something money is coming from every month, like
And it
constantly,
sorts out the bills.
and it sorts out like, and it's draining really. Especially the educational system in Nigeria is very expensive.
Yes.
You can't afford to take your child.
Good school is
Good
expensive.
fees. No, it's very very expensive. So now my child is having to school very far away from me because of the fees and everything. I'm like, when I'm thinking of private school in Lagos, I'm like, please don't kill me. I'm still young.
I know.
So now she's far away doing her secondary school,
Okay.
and it's crazy, man.
I know. So let's take it back. What was he like accepting your model body after you had your baby? I'm going to ask you the question in another dimension. You know that day where you go home after your baby and you get home and you look in the mirror. You know that because I remember that moment and I'm like, well, I've had this baby now. What is this? Like, this body needs to... That's my first child. That's how... What was your reaction? Because you as a model and then having, your aspiring career as a model and then you have a child and then you're thinking, and I'm young, and I would have been able to do this modeling thing and just become Naomi Campbell. What was your reaction?
My modeling thingy started after childbirth.
Okay.
It didn't start before.
Okay.
So for me, it started after. It didn't really have anything to do. It didn't alter anything. Having a child didn't stop anything from happening. It's just...
You guys can hear that. This is what you might not, you might not feel like it, but someone out there is actually listening to this and just feel like, it's not so bad then. I guess I can do it. So continue, give us this one. I can take it.
Okay. What
you said it didn't alter anything for you. You started the modeling career after having a child. Because I'm here thinking, school me.
Look at you.
But no, like
we should learn from me.
No, because I can't model now. Look at me. You're taller than I am. You have the body. I'm kind of small. When it's like I want to be a hand model or something. But to think that you had a child and you still look at yourself. A lot of women, it takes a lot for them to accept themselves after childbirth. We're there, we are wearing waist trimmer, we are running 100 kilometers. We want to be a baddie, permit me. But you started yours after, and that's amazing.
Yeah. Then I was very sleepy. It's now that I've I was very skinny then. I still had this skinny body.
Okay.
Everything was going okay. So I really didn't have to bother about my tummy. It wasn't so big like that. So I could, work it.
Work it. I like the sound of that. Okay, that's good. So, did you just decide, okay, after modeling, I'm going to just start? Or do you still model?
No.
Your clothes?
Sorry?
Your own clothes? Your own clothing line?
No.
Okay.
I stopped sewing after fashion school because I needed, what's it called? I needed a job.
Okay.
Searching for a job in this country.
I know. I know the feeling. And I'm not going to say anything about it because there's, it's a lot. And then when you have responsibility hovering over your head, you're almost like, it needs to come right now. So even if it's coming, it looks like it's not coming. So I totally understand that. Okay, we're going to take a short break from Sophie and we're going to be right back. Welcome back. Still in the studio with me is Sophie, and we are still talking about teenage pregnancy and moving on and being like Sophie. What do you do for self-care?
Nothing
Don't do that to me.
Nothing
Don't break my heart. You need to put something in my self-care jar.
Nothing too much. Exercise.
Okay.
I do a lot of
Yoga?
yoga.
No?
Okay.
So you are those.
Yeah, so jump ropes. So I could do 2006, 3000 in 15, 20 minutes.
Okay. Like,
So I
okay.
usually try to take out 1 hour in a day.
Okay. Is this morning or night?
It depends. It could be morning, it could be night. However I feel like that morning when I wake up. If I feel like morning, I do morning. If I feel okay, much later, I do much later.
But you're consistent, like every day?
No.
No. Like 2-3 times? But Sophie, your self-care is workout. Like your self-care is workout. Do you know, like moms, her self-care is workout. I'm saying
I drink a lot of water.
Good.
I mind my own
business.
You know.
Okay, you don't put your nose in other people's business.
No.
Okay, should I give you tips? Do you drink?
Yes, I do.
You do. Do you have
I
a
do.
pantry in your house?
Yes, I do.
Where you can hide wine? Because that's one of my self-care. Sometimes I'm just like, you people, you cannot come and kill me.
No.
So I lock myself in my pantry. I have a very tall glass of wine. And a tall glass, and I just sit down there and I just, I can take my phone, just sit down and just
maybe watch a movie or read a book.
I can just do that. I don't really read books because I'm more of an audio person. So I can just listen to my podcast and just sit down there and they're screaming, "Mommy!" And the dog can look from the behind. So it's like, I'm not even saying anything because I'm in the dark. That's what I mean. I come out and I'm refreshed and renewed. I'm just like, oh, I'm ready to mommy again.
Oh, mine, she won't give you problems. She was very quiet. So,
so you don't have your moments where you just feel like,
not really.
I like
once you give her cartoons, you sit and watch. But once that cartoon is over, just be prepared for her.
Okay.
To turn the house upside down.
Oh wow. Okay. So for me, self-care is always very key. And since you don't have Sophie, I don't know, workout is great. It's good because sometimes you're there and just in your element. You can just think about. You what?
Sleep. More sleeping.
You sleep a lot.
Yeah, a lot.
You have it covered. If you have enough sleep.
I have enough sleep. So.
No, if you have enough sleep, I feel like you have it covered because sleep is essential. Sleep is key. Like the way you feel after sleeping, I can't even. So if sleep is your self-care, kudos to you. Because I don't get enough sleep. And I think I would trade my wine for sleep. So sleep is good. So yeah, that's great. Thank you. Thank you for coming to come and share your experience.
Thank you for having me.
The Millennial Mom Show and my women out there. And you're going to have to just advise my women, my millennial moms out there watching us. Some people are watching, they are learning from, your experience. Some people are going through pretty much what you have gone through. Somebody in uni that is probably watching me now and something like that happened, or probably even younger than you. And I want you to rewind to, that time and just how you feel now. You have, let me use the word, conquered. Those days are over. Now is all joy and happiness. Your parents see your kid and they're just like, oh my God. Advise that young person out there. Advise that mom that the same thing has happened or is happening to a kid and they need to hear something. They need you to tell them it's going to be okay. Please take the floor.
I know that when it starts or when you're in that position, you just feel like you're doomed. Like there's no hope for you anymore. But there is literally hope for you, because whatever you set your mind to do, you would do and become whoever you want to become, regardless of having a child. I just hope on God, because I wouldn't, because some people might not believe in God, so I won't just say like everybody needs to hope on God, but
Have faith.
I have faith that things are going to work out, and you need to be up and doing. You need to look for something to do. If you don't have anything to do, you need to look for something to do, because having a child is not it's not a child's play. It's not a child's play, because you start to worry about health, school, feeding, clothing. There's so many things. I know it's going to be scary. It is scary, especially if you don't have anybody to help you out.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have any support system. It's very scary, because I've had to see a lot of people. I've helped a lot of single moms out there that I've met that didn't have any support system. There was no man. The father of the child ran away. Nobody, no family at all. I know how it is. I can relate. Not like I can relate because I don't have family, but I can relate with the situation, what that person or what you are going through. I just know that it will work out. It might not seem so now, but years down the line, you look back. I don't. There's really not much to say, but other than just have faith, be strong. You can do it, and hopefully, you have to laugh about you. You see yourself years down the line and laugh about situations that you went through. That's it.
I think this is the part where I hold your hand. Give me your hand. Thank you.
Thank
you,
you.
Sophie. Thank you for sharing your intimate moments with us. Thank you for sharing, how you feel with us.
Yeah.
It's always amazing having my moms on here. You guys make me feel so special. So thank you, Sophie. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
For me, I don't have anything to say. Sophie said it all. She might not cover your aspect of it, but I believe that everything she said today, sharing her experience and looking at her now, she looks beautiful, she's radiant. You can see that she has conquered her worst fears. I mean, I don't have anything to say, but I brought a woman to you to tell you what you need to hear today. And I really hope it gets to you. I really hope it helps you. I really, really hope it touches you where you need to. And like she said, have faith. So that's the last word I'm going to leave you with today. Continue being a super, super millennial mom. Have faith. And don't forget to follow us on our social media platforms on Twitter and on Instagram. Thank you. And I love you.